You can.
No, I always said that was the worst thing they ever done was when that's what this reservation opened. If people coming in that didn't have very much money or anything coming in with wagons, look around. I think I'll buy this place. I just might as well say they got for nothing. Nowadays you go look across the fence to somebody's place. And they'll hit you with the thousands.
So what do you think that Indians could do to try to turn around that situation that happened when they opened the reservation to whites?
Well, I don't know just now, but I will say if the Indians had kept their land, why they'd done a whole lot better. They'd have nice little homes and everything. I can remember when they had started putting up houses over there where Garfies lived over here. They had a nice little place there. And they sold that for nothing.
Do you have ideas about how all this money from Kerr Dam could be used to help those future generations of Indians the most?
Well, I'll say they could give some of the money like they've been doing here lately to the people, and some of them make good use of it. Some of them get their money, and what they do, go put all in these bars. You're taking an older person that knows, why, they could make a nice little home. Give them so much ever so often, and they could build a nice little home. But it's like anything else. They wait, and all they're waiting for is get the interest, and to hell with you. I'm looking out for me, to hell with you. Now you take a lot of these fellas that's around, they always want to work in the bank. Well, they ain't working there for nothing. They're getting interest, and then they're waiting to see if they can get a hold of your interest. That's why I say it's got so now, Well, everything else is getting that way. There's stores, lunch counters and everything. If you ain't got the money, well, you don't get nothing. And if you got the money, well, you're a good feller. No, it's pitiful the way this country's going. And then that's why I say they ain't learning the Indians ain't learning their kids to talk their own language. They talk this language here before they would talk the other language, their own language. And I know there's even grown-up people anymore that don't know nothing about this Indian language at all. And they're supposed to be Indians. That's why I say that her old man, he knows more about this Indian language than a lot of these supposed to be full-blood Indian. They can't talk or can't understand at all. And you take her old man, well, he can understand what you're trying to say to him, and there's a lot of things he can say himself. A lot of them, they don't want to learn that anymore. You go to these schools, they won't allow you to talk anything else, only this white language. There's kids going to school here, full-blood kids I know, that can't understand or anything else. It's just shameful. And what little I know, I didn't learn this language, this Indian language, at home. I learned it out. Stayed at different parties for a while, and some of them couldn't hardly talk English. That's where I kind of halfway learned this Indian language. Of course, there's some of it yet. I'll own up to it. There's some of it yet. I don't know just what the meanings of it is. And it's the same with that French language. My mother and step-old man, that's all they ever did talk, French. When I went out for myself, I couldn't hardly understand what they meant by telling me this or that in French. And showed me everything. That's where I learned. And you take a lot of these long-haired Indians, biggest part of them, you couldn't fool them. You could talk French or Indian to them. They know what you were saying. And nowadays, all this white language, and they don't know what you're trying to say. Say something in Indian to them. And there's some of them, biggest part of them now. Go down the street, you meet an Indian, he turn his nose up at you and go past you. I've had girls and boys so big, white, pure white, they pay more attention to me and say hello and one thing and another before an Indian blood to say hello or anything else. Go past you and look up in the skies this way. That's what makes me mad.
Why is that? That's happening?
Well, just because of change in language, I think. And they're getting so they think that they're a little bit better than you. Or maybe they smell a little bit better than you. I tell you, it's pitiful anymore, the way these kids are coming up. I know right here now, there's full-blood Indian kids. Some of them up in their teens and everything. You meet them on the street, turn their nose up at you and would say boo scat or anything else at you. And I've had white people, pure white people, girls and boys, stop. Well, how are you and everything. Talk to you for a little while and, well, we'll see you later on. But you take these Indians, one's got Indian blood, or you don't see them do that. Go past you just like use a stick or something. I've had them even make faces at me right there in the malt shop, because they could never talk in this language, and maybe they'd come in with some of them white kids, and they notice you and turn their head up and I've even caught some making fun of me. They were right there in the mall shop or even right there on the street. And it wasn't any better than I am. There were, you could see the Indian blood in them. That's why I'm getting so, I think, more of a white person than I do an Indian anymore. Because a white person will pay attention to you. But a lot of these Indians, they wouldn't pay attention to you or help you out or anything. Even since I got my leg busted, I've had people, white people, help me around a little bit in town. Where do you see an Indian do that? No. They're looking out for me. To hell with you. That's why I say it's getting shameful anymore.
In the old days, did young people have more contact with their elders and listen to stories from them like that?
Yeah, you could see a lot of them young people sit around and listen what the elder people is saying or telling story. Now they don't even pay attention to that.
Sounds like this is one of the things you would like to see changed, is to have the younger Indians around you more, to be there to listen to stories from you. And
Yeah, or somebody else. Or you take Mary Small Salmon's old man, her brother. He used to sit there and tell one story after the other in Indian. You'd see kids sit around and listen at him. And Pete Beaverhead was pretty good on telling stories. Or you take like a wake or dinner or anything like that, and if he was in a bunch, he'd start telling stories. And his stories get interested. And since it's gone and dead, we don't hear nothing like that. And some of them now, you try and talk, the first thing you know, they're talking foolishness. They ain't even worthwhile listening. It's like a lot of this TV. And a lot of that stuff I don't even listen to. I just listen to what necessary, the news and stuff like that. I shut the thing off. You go down here to the mall shopping. They turn on the TV, and then pretty soon somebody turned on the radio, or some of them machines playing some kind of tune or something. And they don't even be worthwhile listening. It's a bunch of noise, that's all. I see some of them kids come in there, they got the TV and whatnot, buzzing, talking, and some of them kids come in there and turn on the juice box, and a lot of that stuff is a headache. And they get to trying to dance or bounce at that thing in their head bobbing. That's about all. They don't know even how to dance anymore. Some of the damnedest music, and some of them I had some of them ask me about that. I said, I don't care about that. And the way you're bouncing and bobbing your head, I'd rather see a good old war dance, Indian war dance.